All right, Chapter 9 for the 4-Hour Work Week by Timothy Ferriss. Hello, thank you for tuning in, Love Tubers. Glad to have you here. All right. Income Autopilot, Finding the Muse. Just set it and forget it. Ron Propel, founder of Ronco, responsible for more than $1 billion in sales of rotisserie chicken roasters. As to methods, there may be a million and then some, but principles are few. The man who grasps principles can successfully select his own methods. The man who tries methods ignoring principle is sure to have trouble. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The Renaissance Minimalist. Douglas Price was waking up to another beautiful summer morning in his Brooklyn brownstone. First things first, coffee. The jet lag was minor considering he had just returned from a 2-week jaunt through the islands of Croatia. It was just one of 6 countries he had visited in the last 12 months. Japan was next on the agenda. Buzzing with a smile and his coffee mug in hand, he ambled over to his Mac to check on personal emails. First, there were 32 messages and all brought good news. One of his friends and business partners, also a co-founder of LimeWire, had an update. Last Bamboo, their startup poised to reinvent peer-to-peer technology, was rounding the final corners of development. It could be their billion-dollar baby, but Doug was letting the engineers run wild first. Sanson Projects, one of the hottest contemporary art galleries in Boston, had compliments for Doug's latest work and requests for expanded involvement with new exhibits as a sound curator. The last email in his inbox was a fan letter addressed to Demon Doc and praise for his latest instrumental hip-hop album, Onlyness 401. Doug had released his album as what he termed open source music. Anyone could download the album for free and use sounds from any track in his or her own compositions. He smiled again, polished off his dark roast, and opened a window to deal with business email next. It would take much less time, in fact, less than 30 minutes for the day and 2 hours for the week. How much things changed. 2 years earlier, in June of 2004, I was in Doug's apartment checking email for what I hoped would be the last time for a long time. I was headed to JFK Airport in New York in a matter of hours and was preparing for an indefinite quest around the world. Doug looked on with amusement. He had similar plans for himself and was finally extricating himself from a venture-funded internet startup that had once been a cover story and his passion, but was now just a job. The euphoria of the dot-com era was long dead, along with most chances for a sale or an IPO. He bid me farewell and made a decision as the taxi pulled from the curb. Enough of the complicated stuff. It was time to return to basics. ProSoundEffects.com launched in January of 2004 after 1 week of sales testing on eBay. Was designed to do one thing: give Doug tons of cash, lots of cash, with minimal time investment. This brings us back to his business inbox in 2006. There are 10 orders for sound libraries, CDs that film producers, musicians, video game designers, and other audio professionals use to add hard-to-find sounds, whether the part of the lemur or an exotic instrument, to their own creations. These are Doug's products, but he doesn't own them, as they would require physical inventory and upfront cash. His business model is more elegant than that. Here is just one revenue stream. A positive customer sees his pay-per-click advertising on Google or other search engines and clicks through his site, ProSoundEffects.com. The prospect orders a product for $325. The average purchase price through price ranges from $29 to $7,500. On a Yahoo shopping cart, and a PDF with all their billing and shipping information is automatically emailed to Doug. 3 times a week, Doug presses a single button in the Yahoo management page to charge all his customers' credit cards and put cash in his bank account. Then he saves the PDFs as Excel purchase orders and emails the purchase order to the manufacturers of the CD libraries. Those companies mail the products to Doug's customer. This is called drop shipping, and Doug pays the manufacturers as little as 45% of the retail price of the products, up to 90 days later, net 90 terms. Let's look at the mathematical beauty of his system for full effect. For each $325 orders at his cost of 55% off retail, Doug is entitled to $178.75. If we subtract 1% of the full retail price, 1% of $325 equals $3.25. For the Yahoo Store transaction fee and 2.5% for the credit card processing fee, 2.5% of $325 is $8.13. Doug is left with a pre-tax profit of $167.38 for this one sale. Multiply this by 10 and we have $1,673.80 in profits for 30 minutes of work. Doug is making $3,347.60 per hour and purchases no product in advance. His initial startup cost was $1,200 for the website design, which he recouped in the first week. His PPC advertising cost approximately $700 per month. And he pays Yahoo $99 per month for their hosting and shopping cart. He works less than 2 hours a day, often pulls more than $10,000 per month, and there is no financial risk whatsoever. Now, Doug spends his time making music, traveling, and exploring new businesses for excitement. ProSoundEffects.com is not his end-all be-all, but it has removed all financial concerns and freed his mind to focus on other things. What would you do if you did not have to think about money? If you follow the advice in this chapter, you will soon have to answer this question. It's time to find your muse.
The library will be closing in 5 minutes. Any materials to be checked out must be taken to the circulation desk at this time. If you need other assistance, please come to the information desk.
All right, and we're going to stop there for today because this is looking juicy. Juicy, got them crazy. All right, so we're going to stop with the muse for today. And we'll pick back up tomorrow when I finish the grants, which I will be doing a live for one of those grants. All right. Thank you for tuning in, loves. I hope you have a marvelous rest of your evening. Thank you for sharing part of your evening with me. I appreciate you. And hopefully see you tomorrow. Mwah.